Summerfest, we throw a party every year around that. We absolutely love the event, and so I'd love to be able to participate and make that as big of a revenue maker as we can. And then more on the professional side, we've got an accounting undergraduate, international, or an MBA in international finance, so I'll probably participate in the finance committee if elected. Thank you.
So thanks to all the candidates who ran and made it here tonight to speak. I appreciate that very much. It's now time, if you haven't already, to formally cast your vote, which we will collect and take to the rear. And then so if you haven't marked your ballot up, could you do that? And could you pass it to the folks passing up and down the aisle? We'll walk to the rear with your ballot. This is going to take a couple minutes, and then we're going to move on to recognizing our grantees who made it here tonight and folks about to eat. declare the voting closed. The voting is closed. Ladies and gentlemen in the back, God bless you for taking this on. We plan a relief expedition about 1 o'clock if you're not finished. But thank you for taking this on. So the balloting is now officially closed. Let's move on to the VHCA grant awards for 2016. And I'm going to read some, and we know some folks here, and if I do read one and I miss someone, please let us know when you come up. Here are the awards we made this year. They're listed, and there's in your with one area. And their Council of In-Town Schools was awarded $500, and I don't believe they're here. I understood. The Grady Athletic Boosters wrote a lovely application for help with their baseball team, and Tim Langdon is here. Grady Athletics features the same challenges that the Inman teams do, which is a real paucity of adequate facilities to play or even practice. And so we're really glad we can help with that, and good luck to y'all. The Grady High CCC, Anna, is she still here? There she is, Anna. This is the Career College and Counseling Service at Grady High School. They've been an award with us for several years, and they do counseling for many students at Grady, particularly kids that aren't middle class and don't have access to those services at home. We're really honored to help you, and thank you. You want to say a word?
Thank you so much. This money will go to 2 Grady students at the end of the year for scholarships, and so we really appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Did Kevin Lyman get here? Kevin was coming from the Inman Foundation. We awarded $2,500 to the Inman Foundation. Kevin started the Morningside Foundation, for those of y'all that ever were familiar with that. It is, at Morningside, they were able to establish a substantial endowment that they've been able to use the interest on and try to make awards every year to the administration and PTA. And Kevin's hard at work on it for him, and he came over a year ago to make this plea. And I think it's a great attempt and a great award to try to get out to put living hand to mouth grant-wise, and I really applaud them for trying to do it, so we're really glad to help there. The spring, who's going to take it to Springdale Park? Yeah. That'd be fine. Please come up.
I can deliver tomorrow.
I have full faith that you will do so. The $3,250 for one of the most active PTOs and parent student groups that we have in the city. It's a great group.
I'm part of the gardening committee.
We have here an empty envelope representing money that we gave to the Inman Middle School for the field trip to Rock Eagle that occurred last week. We gave it to the acting principal. I'll award it to you, Mary. But in any case, they got their money early and upfront because they used it last week, and they used it for scholarships for kids who can't afford the trip.
This goes a long way too. We want to ensure that every student at Inman Middle School gets the opportunity to go on these field trips. Some of them are upwards to $200 per kid. And so we are very, very appreciative, and so is the administration, that all the kids will get to go.
I don't believe anybody from the Atlanta Bicycle Coalition is here to get their $1,500 award because they were doing a fundraiser tonight against the Georgia Tech football game against this mighty team. But we did award them $1,500 for their continuing advocacy and safety work for cyclists all over this region. They did a terrific job, of course, mobilizing attention to the tragic accident that happened this past winter. PEDS, and I don't, $500 for PEDS, which is an award we give constantly, and I don't believe that Sally Fox made it here tonight. I think they're accepting the award for Trees Atlanta, which is $4,000, because everybody loves trees. I think, Kate, you're going to take this back to our friends Alec Beasley and Greg. You want to say a word about that?
So the folks at Trees Atlanta wanted to thank you. They really are so appreciative of this wonderful and long-standing relationship that they've had with Virginia-Highland. They also wanted to let you know that they're going to spend this money on planting new trees along Ponce and Barnett Street where new sidewalks have been installed. and also on Virginia Avenue and North Virginia Avenue. And then also to support pruning and mulching of all those new trees. So go get some.
We all had $100 for every tree the Trees Atlanta had planted. We would give it back to them, and they'd really be rich, but they've been awesome. I don't believe anybody from Church of Our Savior is here. Church of Our Savior has been the long-time meeting place of many Virginia-Highland Civic Association committees, and we donated $1,000 to them, and on top of that, they've been the emergency go-to site when a need for a meeting came up, and we appreciate them. I believe Ed Warren was here from, is Ed here? There he goes. This is Open Door Community, which to one of the most historic groups, service groups in this community, which is closing this year after a long, long run.
This is Murphy Day. Open Door community that came with us tonight. This is Robert Lee and Jacob Alexander. We came into this neighborhood in 1981. And the reason we came into this neighborhood in 1981 was because Ponce de Leon and environs were filled with prostitution, with violence, with drug addicts, drug sales, all kinds of life on the margins that is despised and marginalized. That was 1981. We had quite a struggle up until the early 90s. Kathy Woolard is here. She will remember she was the city council person here who, with this organization in those years, wanted to move us out of the neighborhood. We stuck in the neighborhood even though the gentrification by the early 90s was on the table, and we knew that that was coming down the line. Nonetheless, we were doing 10,000 meals a week, a month. We were doing hospitality for people. We're a residential community. We're not a shelter. On one hand, on the other hand, when it gets near to freezing temperature in the winter months, we open our dining room and our living room for people to come in. I want to say, first of all, an unbelievable thanks of you who've been members and officers for the last 7 years or so. You welcomed us. You invited some of our members to come over here and speak. Some of you have actually come into our home, and this is not the first night we've gotten an award. Thank you. Rather than being pushed out, we've been welcomed in. Usually when I get up here and talk like that, people start waving checks at me. I hush. Not like that. Really been a wonderful experience. I think there are many causes of that, but the one for us to celebrate and reflect upon tonight has been the transformations in this neighborhood that are a matter of the heart. And we are so very thankful. The homeless people, the people who come out of prison and jails that come to our homes for all manners of things are now in new ways respected in the ways that they are treated. And there's just many things that we can say to say thank you. On the other hand, the neighborhood is now gentrified to the place and is increasing its gentrification in some ways that are pretty sad, it seems to me, demolishing these fine houses and building mega homes or putting tops on them and things. Nonetheless, the neighborhood has really changed, and some of it's really great. One of the things about Atlanta is we are finally getting an urban culture. There's art and music and friendliness and engagement that is going on that in my 40 years of being working on the streets of Atlanta and in the prisons of Georgia, it's just very new, and I celebrate that. But the time has come for us to go. This is no longer a place that is primary for ministry and openness to the marginalized. It would become an issue of white privilege if we were to stay here and request and ask that homeless people come across town or from wherever they may be to our place. Another big factor is that the Pine Street shelter is closing. So we are going to close down the open door here at 910 Ponce de Leon. It will continue in a variety of forms and shapes, both in Baltimore, Maryland, and we will continue our prison ministry here in Georgia. And I want to thank y'all. Now, I do want to leave with this enigma, this mystery, this conundrum, this deplorable fact. There's quite a level at which our lives, Manny Murphy's lives and many others, have been a total waste. We work with hungry people and there's no shortage of food. No shortage of food. There are 20,000 people, even the government, even the city council will agree. There's 20,000 homeless, hungry people in this city. And there's no food shortage. It is really a hard piece to understand that although there's so many less women and children sleeping under the bridges now because they cleaned them out to build the Beltline, but there's women and children sleeping under bridges and men sleeping in our yard, and there's no housing shortage. Oh, my lives would make sense if we were in the African country of Chad, if we were in Bangladesh. But there is a mystery about the abundance of American life that in many places squeeze folks into scarcity. The paradox of having too much. Now we leave this neighborhood in 2017. We ain't leaving tonight. And we need help. We need money. We need clothes. We need food. And we will go wherever we go to engage these issues. But please take out of tonight the mystery of American abundance and the scarcity in the lives of people. Thank you. I don't know many of y'all in here, but I tell you this, I sure love you. Hallelujah! And listen to my wife for 1 minute. I got the Lord. Hold on, Jack. Hold on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And amen.
Thank you. I won't take but a minute, but I didn't realize how my heart was going to be tugged when I walked in this building tonight. I moved to Atlanta in 1970, and this building was one of the first places that I worked. It was the Virginia Avenue Elementary School. I had a children's chorus down here in the auditorium every Wednesday afternoon, and almost every week I lost 1 or 2 of my children in the chorus because their houses were being torn down for the Stone Mountain Freeway. Many of you are old enough to know that story. There's parkland now, thankfully, but those were homes. And that was the political will of that era. And people's lives were being disrupted by the understanding that we needed more concrete highways coming through the city. Thankfully, and it was out of this neighborhood largely that was defeated, but the gentrification and moving people out is continuing to happen. So I really think that our issues of corporate political will are so very important that as we enjoy our neighborhoods, we continue to reflect on why everybody in Atlanta cannot have a neighborhood that is safe and decent and enjoyable and good for their children. Atlanta is a city of huge inequalities, and they seem at times to be intractable. I think we can contribute to that being more fluid and more people in Atlanta having it. I love this neighborhood. We hate to leave it, but it has become a place that is difficult for the poor to get to. And so let's keep working together about how we make this a livable city for all its citizens. When we heard that we were getting a grant from you all tonight, even knowing we're leaving, I wasn't sure if you're giving us money because we're finally leaving or what it is, but we are so grateful, and we're so grateful for your contributions to our foot clinic and the services that we've been able to offer in your midst. Thank you for the community that you have been a part of with us and for us. Thank you so much.
The Ponceland Library, and I don't think they're here because they told me this afternoon they couldn't, but they got $2,825. We love the library, which is one of the most used in the entire city. The Baha'i Church, and I think we have from the Baha'i Church, Tracy, and I'm sorry, Tracy, I don't know your last name.
Yeah, I'm actually not Tracy.
Oh, well, that's why I don't know your last name.
Tracy needed to go, so I said,
Yeah.
I'm going to go on and I'll be happy to.
Thank you. It's $1,000. Thank you. It's another place that's been a great asset to the neighborhood. Always helps us in times of need. So thank you very, very much. And they're very patient. I don't know if she had other plans, but too late now. Anyway, it's Ms. Sharman Gowans from the VHCA, which has been another favorite.
On behalf of the YWCA of Greater Atlanta, we are thrilled to be a part of this neighborhood, and maybe we've even touched the lives of some of your children. Our mission is eliminating racism and empowering women, and we seek to do that every single day, teaching our children to really embrace their differences. So thank you very much. We're going to use these dollars to, I am so glad to hear the neighborhood talking so much about security and cameras. That's what we're using these dollars for, to take cameras on our property. We thank you and very much appreciate being your neighbor.
So that ends the formal agenda. We're not adjourning the meeting because we're going to be counting votes right now. I'd be happy in this period of time if we can accept any questions that anyone has, or we can move the meeting into recess while what may be an extended counting. We have a lot of marks to count. We're doing it the same way the state of Georgia did it in 1940. So we're really moving along well here. But I want to point out that Mr. Becker, who did this, who led this effort, and all the volunteers who are doing it, we thank you for doing it, and we did ask and implore, go slow if you must. Please just get it right so that we feel quite confident about the results. So if there are no questions, I'm glad to have them, but if there are, if folks want to go home, I'll 1 second, and do it. I will tell you that tonight, whenever we finish this, which may be the 5th quarter of the Georgia Tech game, we will put the results up on Baha'i.com. But you're welcome to stay. You're welcome to go and observe the counters. You might be welcome to go and believe them if you're not a candidate. So thank you. And otherwise, please stay if you can. Steph, you have a question?
I just wanted to make a short announcement. I know that the money was given out for Trees Atlanta, and we talked a little bit about the tree planting. But November 12th is the day that we're going to be planting in both our neighborhood and also Morning Sun. And we've got really a lot of trees to plant in two major areas. One is where the sidewalks come in, and the other one is basically for traffic control on Virginia, North Virginia. And it seems like we are planting more trees for traffic control, which is something we just have to admit. So if you have never planted a tree before, if you want to bring your kids, come on out on November 12th. We always start at 9 o'clock, and it's always at 12, but that doesn't mean you have to stay for 3 hours. Trees around always bring the trees, and equipment, shovels, gloves. So there'll be information on the website. Please keep it on us. You can see the benefits of 20 years of tree planting in our neighborhood. We need to keep it up because we're having huge tree loss right now in the drought, and because of increased traffic, increased population. So yes, come and help us.
Thank you very much.
Well, we're going to be, where should we go? The question is, we're going to be planting in two areas. One is right along Ponce de Leon and Barnett Street, going in there, and the other one is Virginia and North Virginia. And I don't think the trees of Atlanta have gotten their most spots picked out yet, but it'll be on the website.
Thank you, Stephanie. So, if there are no objections, we will have a recess at this point, and we will come back together when those groups of patients will come back together when the voting is done. Thanks very much for coming out tonight.